sometimes in a film, the title will give you everything you need to know about the story that's about to unfold. So I Married an Axe Murderer, a series of unfortunate events, Debbie Does Dallas. So when you finally come across a title that just completely stumps you, it's kind of exciting. So imagine my delight when I come across Night of 1,000 Cats. Not Night of the Living Dead, not Night of the Blood Beast, not Night of the Creeps. It's Night of the Meow Meow Purr Poop in a Box Feline Friends. What could a title like that mean? Is this a movie about an army of angry beatniks? Is it a gigolo movie starring Thomas O'Malley? I mean, what could this film possibly be about? Night of 1,000 Cats was filmed in 1972 around Guadalajara, Mexico. It stars a man named HUGO STIGLITZ.
Everybody in the German army's heard of HUGO STIGLITZ.
So the first thing you may notice is that Hugo is apparently voiced by Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
And I would like you to stay with me, but in a place where no one could touch you. For example, in a crystal cage.
Yeah, his voice in this is the single most upsetting and uncomfortable part of his performance. So Hugo finds himself a swinging lady of the 70s, they wine and dine, then Hugo closes in with the ultimate bachelor maneuver. Ride in a helicopter, baby! So he flies her to his very generic-looking Frankenstein castle, introduces her to Gordo, his adorable manservant, and makes sweet, sweaty love to her. From there, we learn that the reason Hugo is the proud owner of 1,000 cats is because
all of my ancestors had a mania for collecting.
His family likes to collect things?
But my collection is going to be the most original and interesting of all.
Sure, that's enough of a backstory, why not? But what to do about that awkward morning after the lovemaking? Well, Hugo hits them with the old, yeah, that was good, but you gotta go, and grinds them up into chopped meat to feed to the cats. Okay, first of all, who does that? If you need to break it off with a lady, call her an Uber, fly her back with the helicopter, have Gordo give her a fucking piggyback ride back to civilization. Your first instinct should not be, that was outstanding. Well, you gotta die. Second, you're feeding your collection of feline Soylent Meow Mix. Why? If you can't afford to feed 1,000 cats, then don't own 1,000 cats, you fucking hoarder. So after this traumatic experience, what comes next? The exact same thing! In fact, the movie shows us in ridiculous detail Hugo seducing women, helicopter training footage, killing, feeding them to the cats, and repeat. Like 3 times in a row. In addition, a random doctor and little girl are also served up at mealtime. At one point, we get bachelorette number who even knows, and suddenly Hugo falls in love, and the plan completely changes. Until Gordo accidentally kills her, and they feed her to the damn cats. But come on! How can you stay mad at that face? Get out of here, you little scamp. So, Gordo and Hugo get back in the swing of things, and in the downtime between murders, we come to my favorite / least favorite scene in the movie. Gordo, the man-child, finally gets the best of Hugo in chess, which Hugo, of course, takes very well.
It teaches us to accept our failures as well as our successes with quiet, dignity, and grace. Son of a bitch bastard, I'll get you for this! What did you do to me?
How in a million years are we supposed to take that scene seriously? Gordo, you deserve better. So Hugo brings another lady to the castle, and in a twist that ultimately goes nowhere, we find out that Hugo's collection isn't the 1,000 cats, it's a collection of terrible prop heads, which we're supposed to believe are the real heads of his victims. Here are 2 reasons why that is incredibly dumb. Number 1, by keeping the severed heads of your victims in your house, you are single-handedly confirming your guilt for any of the local disappearances that have happened. So if by some chance any sort of law enforcement happens to mosey by your place and happens to glance in the throne room, Hugo is screwed. Number 2, if the 8 heads in a duffel bag is the actual collection, then why keep the cats? oh, well, because you gotta get rid of the evidence of the bodies, the cats will eat it. No, apparently they have a furnace that'll just magically do that. So why keep the cats? So Hugo attempts to murder this final lady who manages to escape and inadvertently tear a hole in the cat cage. So of course, in a feat of poetic justice, by the way, I just air quoted so hard I think I bruised something. So the escaped kitties come out and end up killing Hugo. Well, you know what they say, if you live by the you'll die by the bang bug, hello! So in summation, Night of a Thousand Cats is a perfect movie to have playing during a party. Keep the sound off, play whatever music you want, your guests will assume it's some forgotten Ed Wood student film. If you're chatting somebody up or you gotta get up to refill something, don't worry, you're not gonna miss anything. When this cinematic dry hump decides to get interesting for a minute, everyone watching will lose their minds and everyone will leave thinking it was the artsiest film they've ever seen. That's about as close of a recommendation you're ever gonna find for this film. So with that said, thank you for watching. I'm Zach Romero. Until next time.